Hey gang, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Um, I just want to make mention a little bit ahead of time before I get into a few things like the change in my background and things that I lost someone who was like a second father to me and a grandfather to my kids. Um, Last night he passed away around midnight, and so I just kind of have a heavy heart this morning. And I wasn't going to film at all. And I decided no, that this would potentially be good therapy for me just to come and talk to you guys, to visit with you, and just to get my mind off of things. So, my apologies for this not being super upbeat or uh, lighthearted or anything. I'm just going to try and go with the flow and just be with you guys because that's where I find peace and happiness in my life. So, welcome. If you're new here, I'm sorry. I'm usually not quite this melancholy. But for today's video, that's the way it just is. Life happens. Death happens. We're not... He's been battling cancer for quite a while. He actually succumbed to a heart attack yesterday. And regardless if someone has been sick for a while or not, or how strong of a person you think you are, you're never, in my opinion, truly prepared when that person actually does pass. You try to prepare, you think you are, but you're not. You're not. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to cry because that's what I've been doing this morning. It's okay to just stop everything that you're doing and just be. To be still and to be in the moment. And to not have to be anywhere or do anything. If there is anything positive about the whole COVID situation, I would have to say that that's probably one thing that has been good about it, that it has slowed people down a little bit. If you're living a hectic life or just whatever, I mean, it's just slowed everyone down, but just know that if you're going through it, if you're going through the gigs, if you've lost someone or something traumatic has happened in your life, that it's okay to take a step back, to not answer your phone, to not answer your front door. And the phone, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a text, whatever it might be, you are a human being with feelings and rights, and you deserve to have a little bit of downtime, a little bit of peace and quiet. I mean, let people know that you are okay. Just let them know that you're not going to be available for a while, that you just need time to process your feelings or what you're going through. And, that's okay. So many times we think that we have to be this tough individual, that we can't feel our feelings, that we can't have a breakdown or a meltdown or whatever. But we certainly can. The important thing is just not to live there. We need to acknowledge our feelings and work through processing them and then move on with life. Sometimes that takes a long time, and it's okay. Just make sure that when you are going through a tough time, that you talk to someone. Don't just keep everything bottled up inside, because when you do that, you're only hurting yourself. You think that you are being stoic by not letting anybody else know that you are affected by something, that when in essence you are being deeply affected. And the thing is, when you share with somebody else, you can make a connection. You can let somebody else know that they too are not alone in life, in whatever challenges that we're facing. Because I think so many times when we are, sorry, I'm kind of getting off on a little bit of a tangent, but so many times in life when we have something happen to us, whether it's a death, whether it's a breakup, a divorce, a job loss, whatever it is, we can sometimes feel like we're the only one, that we are the absolute only one in this world that is going through it. And we're not. We're just not. But at the time, it feels like it. And sometimes it's difficult to reach out to somebody. But when you feel up to it, do reach out to somebody, whether it is a phone call, whether it's a text, whether it's FaceTime. Reach out to someone and talk about it, because talking about things makes you feel better. It kind of alleviates the pressure. I always say that when we don't face these trials and tribulations in our life, and we kind of keep putting it on that back burner, so to speak, those things keep piling up and piling up and piling up. And unfortunately, they will come out one day in a really bad way, and not like you would expect, because those feelings just need to be dealt with. So please, just talk to someone. Leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to message back to you as well. That's what we're here for, because we're a family, and that's what families do for each other. All that being said, I'm 8 minutes into the video. I had my appraisal yesterday. I think I might have mentioned this the other day, last weekend actually, when I filmed. I kind of tucked all of my filming equipment away because I wanted to make a good impression on the appraiser, tidying my house and keeping things buttoned up nicely, or trying to. And I was actually going to have my filming room in the other smaller room that I had, but I needed to move the daybed out of there. Well, this morning, in my angst, I attempted to move that daybed out of there. You know how sometimes you can wiggle furniture through a doorway? Like Kitty Wampus, like you can, like with a chair, sometimes you can put the back of the chair, if it's like a recliner, which the blue recliner, I'd moved out of that other room. It's here in this room in front of me, but it's not in the shot, so we're good, right? But I was able to, put it down on the side and wiggle the back of it through the door before I swung the base through. And so I was going to do that with the daybed. Not so much. And I would have had to have taken the daybed completely apart and all that stuff. And I was just like, I was not in the headspace to do that today. And I had even had the rest of the daybed moved into this room with hopes of that I could wiggle the base of the daybed through the doorways. Yeah, no. So I moved all the rest back in there, put it all back together, and set up in this room. And so this is fine. This works out fine. It's all good. The appraiser showed up at like 10 o'clock. Not going to lie, I Facebook stalked him because I wanted to know who exactly was coming to my house, what he looked like and such. He came, he had a mask on. I had my mask on, which was very greatly appreciated. He started taking some measurements. He had this gizmo, and a lot of you probably have seen it. I had never, but it's like a digital measuring tool. So like he put it against the wall and it shot a laser across the room and it digitally gave him the measurements of my room. And I was really taken aback with it. I thought that was pretty cool. And I just kind of gave him the layout of my home and said, I'll let you do your job, what you need to do. I did not follow him up. Some of you are probably screaming at the video going, you didn't go with him in every room. What if he stole something? Blah, blah, blah. Number one, I would hope that the bank would vet their people to know that they are a good person who is going into their clients' homes. And number two, if there's something that I have, which I'm thankful for everything I have, but I don't have anything, extreme. If there's something that he needed that bad, then take it, be blessed by it, and have a good day. But I'm happy to report, at least at this point in time, nothing's missing. It took about a half an hour. I was so nervous. I did not hardly sleep the night before because there was a stranger coming to my home. He's coming to basically critique my home. And not gonna lie, I know it had to be done, but it just made me feel so violated. I always have chaos. And if you don't know what chaos stands for, can't have anyone over syndrome. Now, you can see a little bit if you've been here for a hot minute, you've seen little bits and pieces of my home. I've filmed down in my dining room. I have filmed in my bedroom. My house is perfectly fine. Okay. But when I was married, yes, newsflash, I am divorced, but when I was married, I was given a complex of nothing was ever good enough, and I could have it so totally clean, the whole house, and it was still never good enough. So I just always have had kind of the chaos syndrome, can't have anyone over syndrome, because I never feel like anything is ever good enough, and it's something that I am working on. It's something that I'm working on. And as a matter of fact, I have therapy this coming Tuesday evening, and I think maybe it's something that I need to revisit with my therapist. But anywho, the good thing, the positive thing that I can say is that, have you ever, before you go to meet somebody, have you ever had where you run a script through your mind, like of what you're going to say or not going to say to this person, or how things might go? You're kind of playing it out in your mind. That was happening for me. I was playing out the scenario in my mind a multitude of times all week as I was cleaning and tidying and doing, and I found myself, even in my scenario, apologizing for my home. This, that, or the other, that I was imagining myself going, my house isn't perfect, I hope it's okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I stopped myself in my scenario and told myself, you do not need to apologize. This is your home that you love, that you live in and enjoy on the daily, and you have nothing to apologize for. You don't know him. You're not here to impress him. And no offense to him whatsoever, but he's nothing to you. He's just the appraiser coming in to do his job. Let him in. Tell him where some things are at and let it go. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm kind of glad in some respects that I played it out a little bit ahead of time, that I didn't ramble on with apologies. That's one of my weaknesses, is that I have a tendency to always apologize for my house or for my vehicle or for just anything and everything. I've lived a life of an apology for the majority of my 52 years here on earth. But I didn't do that yesterday, and for that I'm thankful. I'm happy about that. When he was done, he said he was going to take a few pictures of the outside and then he would be gone. And I did not ask him what he thought or how it went or anything, because I was too nervous. Bottom line is, if my house does not appraise out enough and if I can't refinance my house, it's not the end of the world. I'm just trying to get a better interest rate. Right now, I'm at 4.25. And if my house appraises out enough, I can get a refinanced home loan at 2.25. So I can save over $20,000 in interest over the life of the loan on my home, of the mortgage. And so that's what I'm trying to accomplish. And if it doesn't happen, no harm, no foul. I still have a mortgage. I'll still continue to pay as I have for the last between 8 and 9 years. And it's all good. But don't, I'm playing with something out of frame while you can't see, but don't apologize all the time. You are perfectly fine just the way you are. And your home is perfectly fine just the way it is. You're fine. You're fine. I'm trying to decide if, because I have a green wall behind me, I'm trying to decide if I want to do a little green screen effect type of situation in time. We'll see. I don't know if I will or not. We'll see. But that's a thought, because I thought, well, maybe it was meant to be. Maybe I'm supposed to be in here because maybe I'm supposed to be able to do some cool effects on the wall behind me. But you can't tell from there, but it's really textured. When we moved into this house, my son and I, this particular bedroom had really old, well, a lot of the house had really old wallpaper in it. And we started to take the wallpaper off, and there were multiple layers of wallpaper. And we finally got to a point where it was just such a taskmaster. And my son had seen somewhere about a cool effect of texturing a wall. And so I don't even remember right off the top of my head what we used in here. If we just got like buckets of spackling or what exactly that we used, but we texturized the wall. He actually did most of it. I say we because I was the money behind it. But we texturized the walls and then painted them. And it was actually kind of a cool effect. It turned out okay. So anyway, I thought, well, maybe I'm meant to have this green background. And if not, I might hang up some lights behind me. I don't know. The world is my oyster, right? I'm just so thrilled to be able to have a dedicated filming area, complete with a candle in the background, like all good YouTubers have, and to progress my channel just by talking to you guys. And I know that a lot of you have come here because of TapirMate. And again, I've weaned myself off of that a few months ago. TapirMate is not my life. I'm wanting to go into a different direction. Just basically like more podcast YouTube style, and just to talk to you guys. Just sit and talk about topics. I like to visit, so I just want to sit and talk about topics. And I'm gonna close this off here pretty shortly. I'm about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes in. But I think next time what I'm going to talk about is my weight struggles. I think that's something that I want to address a little bit more deeply with all of you. And again, know that you're not alone if you are struggling out there as well. Oh, there's so many struggles in life, isn't there? But together, we will get through it, right? So I just want to thank you all for being here. You've helped me in the last 20 minutes to mellow out and to stop crying for a bit. And I just appreciate and love all of you. Thank you for being here. If you're still here, leave a purple heart emoji down in the comments section so that I know that you made it to the end. Anyway, I pray that you are healthy, that you are happy, that you are safe. And I pray that you have peace in your life. Until we meet again, my friends, have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic upcoming week, and I will be filming soon for more fun. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.